Alright, can you guys hear me? Just give me a yes. Anyone, can you hear me? Does this shit work? Alright, I think you guys could hear me. Alright, let's talk about the stock market, gold, and I'll cover Bitcoin as well. So this will just be a TA. I haven't gone live in like a long time. Alright. So I should have checked Trump's tweets before I even started this. Let's take a look at gold first, because I actually have a position on. I posted this in the private group, right? So a while back, like a month back or whenever, I don't even remember, I bought this ETF, and it's leveraged highly, and you guys shouldn't be trading those unless you're extremely experienced. And I'm talking about JNUG. If you're not experienced, don't trade it. You will get destroyed. You'll get a margin call, especially if you have a margin account. There's daily interest on it, essentially. Where is my gold chart? So you guys could ask questions. I'll try to answer if I find them interesting. So here's gold. Here's a 12-hour chart. 12-hourly time frame. We are on a 9 pretty much right now. So I'm kind of worried we might get the pullback now. Now, personally, I do want a pullback eventually. I would love a pullback back to 1500. That'd be great for another buying opportunity. But let's take a look. Let's start off with a larger time frame. So for trend following, you would start off with the larger time frames and then move your way down. So this is a monthly chart. We're on a 3 count. A 3 count, when you have 1, 2, 3, and 3 candles trading above one another like that, that is very bullish. Usually it could run up to a 9 count. And if we had a 9 count on the monthly, that would take us more than likely back up to the all-time high, if not a little bit above it. We'll see. So the monthly is pretty bullish here. RSI, momentum indicator, these oscillators down here. So this would be your RSI, relative strength index. This is your momentum indicator right here. Here, I'll show you guys. Yeah, this is the Shanty Dome momentum indicator. And then OBV. The TM squeeze right here. I like using the TM squeeze. When you start getting purple, that means there's consolidation. It's going to break up or break down. And we've broken up, obviously. And this is on a monthly time frame, so this could run a little hot. But I'm just giving you guys some lessons here real quick. And then, of course, you have your MACD, right? And that is trending up. So the monthly is still bullish. Now, when you get a 1, 2, 3 count, the 4 count or the 5 count, or both of them, they might trade a little bit lower than the 3, and then the 6, 7, 8, 9 shoot up. I've noticed that using the TDI indicator. And the TDI has been working pretty well for the traditional markets. Alright, so the monthly is technically bullish. Let's look at the weekly. So for gold here, we had a 9 count right here, right? But they don't always work out. Because with gold, I mean, obviously the fundamentals are overriding it, which is central banks just printing endless money. The market's waking up to the fact that pretty much every central bank in the entire world is just going to go to negative yielding rates on bonds and debt. And they have no choice unless they let the markets reset itself and the entire global economy pops because it's a giant bubble that was driven by endless debt and the U.S. and the world reserve currency, the dollar, which is also in a bubble technically. Now, that milkshake theory, I'll talk about that in my next video that I'm going to do later tonight. Right now, I just want to stick to T8. So, the weekly's on a 4 count, trading above the 3. The 3 was the body of the candle, not the wicks. So, we also had a 1, 2, 3 count as well, right? And this 9 count back here didn't play out. So, there was no pullback. It just kept shooting higher and higher. And I was actually expecting that. I know the heat map is really red. And when it gets red like this, that's the TDI heat map, you're going to get a correction, but it doesn't always play out either. So we could also look at these moving averages whenever they cross above one another like that. The price will rally. So we had golden crosses. And of course, you guys remember I talked about my blue equilibrium line crossing, or the 200 week moving average crossing over my blue line right here. And I told you that I was going to start a new bull market in metals, and that's what happened. So I call those golden crosses. The golden cross and the death cross is when the 100-day crosses below the 200-day, or the weekly as well. Anyways, the weekly here, as you can see, the RSI has been running very overbought for quite some time now. And that's going to eventually reset. And I expect some sort of pullback. Whoever keeps messaging in the private group, can you stop? It's starting to annoy me. Yeah, so the momentum oscillator as well. It's been running. Momentum has been up to the upside for quite some time now. Eventually, you're going to get a pullback pretty soon. So right now, I'm trying to figure out, are we going to get a pullback like starting today, by the end of this week, or maybe next week? So the weeklies, I mean, it's not really helping me all that much right now trying to determine this. So we have to go down to the smaller time frame. Let's go to the 3-day. I like the 3-day. A lot of people don't use it, but I do. So the 3-day here, the RSI is extremely overextended. The OBV is about to cross to the downside. You can see that the TTM squeeze here, I mean, this is also very overextended. Eventually this resets and goes back down, right? And the MACD, eventually, I mean, it's pretty overextended as well. Now, yes, oscillators could stay very overextended for a very long time, but like back here, look at this on the 3-day back here. Look how long this stayed in the overbought territory. And this was back in this is since the beginning of August of 2018, and it ran overextended on the RSI until February 2019. So also what you're going to find with the TDI indicator, and by the way, for the private members, you guys get the indicators, right? We had a 9 sell right here, and then the next candle shot above the 9 sell candle. So that pretty much means that you're not going to get a pullback. Although I've seen this happen where it overshoots it, goes higher, and then all of a sudden then fails. So, alright, I'm going to ban whoever keeps messaging in the private group. Alright. So, the 3-day chart. Yeah, I'm worried about this losing some momentum here and retesting 1500. But that is not giving me a good entry or exit. So, let's go to the daily chart. Daily chart's on the 5. So possibly 6, 7, 8, 9, 4 more days of upside. But honestly, I wouldn't wait the 4 days. I would, if I'm going to look for an exit, it'll be before this weekend. Because you want to exit before the weekend. Because Monday could open significantly down. That's why a lot of swing traders and day traders, they don't hold over the weekend. Also, these moving averages on the daily, look how overextended they're becoming. Look at the space between all these moving averages. Alright, let's take a look at the 12-hour only. This is what I find interesting. Right now we're on a 9 count for gold on the 12-hour chart. So, technically, by today or tomorrow, we might start seeing the pullback in gold. Now, you also have to strategize, right? A pullback prior to the next FOMC meeting, which is late September, would make sense. Because there's a lot of time from now until, I forget, is it the 27th or the 17th? We get the next FOMC meeting. But that would make sense. Let me check on this. So, this is how you strategize. Because the next Fed meeting, I think the futures are pricing in a 50-point basis cut. And that should shoot up gold again. Now, here's the thing. We're coming up fall, right? And we're going to get huge earnings. Well, earnings season's coming up. And the markets tend to correct around fall or the third quarter or the first quarter of next year. So when is the next meeting? September 17th and the 18th. All right, so that's the next Fed meeting. So we have about 3 weeks, right? Yeah, about 3 weeks. So a pullback now would be great. Or soon, next week possibly. And that would give us one more big buying opportunity for the mining stocks. And then it's probably to the moon. Especially if the stock market sells off third or fourth quarter this year. I don't know if that's going to happen. Well, I'm going to start looking at the S&P and the Russell and all that to try to determine that, right? So let's take a look. Give me a second. This is really bothering me. Every time I go live, one of these chat rooms just starts going nuts. It's like bing, bing, bing. Alright, settled. So let's take a look at the 4-hourly. See if that gives us a better exit or entry, right? So we started off at the monthly, now we're on the 4-hour chart. So the 4-hourly is for day trading and swing trading, right? Now this looks like, I wouldn't say this is a bull flag. This is just an ascending triangle or something like that. But you can see right here, you would put real quick a resistance line. And you can see it's really bumping up against 1550. And it's done that many times now. Many times, like 6 times or something. And the more it does that, the more likely it's going to shoot above that resistance price area, right? Also, my other indicator. So the yellow candles mean it's overbought. And the blue candles means it's oversold and it's time to buy. And this indicator I don't share because I really like it and I don't want too many people using it. Although I'm going to share it with the private members because there's not that many of us in the MMG. I mean, there's about 40 of us. I was hoping there'd be 1,000 by now, but apparently people don't want to make money with mining stocks. Yeah, I'll share it with you guys. So let's take a look at the oscillators. The RSI, it's over sold. Momentum oscillators, sort of neutral. MACD, it's already crossed to the downside, so it could cross back up to the upside. So for the short term, it's looking like this afternoon, possibly tomorrow, we'll see a little more upside to gold here. And we'll break above 1550 or 1555. And then that would, I'm probably going to look to exit by tomorrow or Friday. I don't want to wait till Friday, probably tomorrow. Let's take a look at the 1-hourly time frame. So this is an ascending triangle, right? On the 1-hourly time frame here. Okay, I just did that backwards. You guys get it. I don't want to take too much time with this. Oh, by the way, you don't include the wicks unless it's like the daily and up for the time frames when you draw these triangles and whatnot. Something like that. But it's an ascending triangle. These are more likely to break up than down. Okay, so these patterns, they never mean 100% that's what it's going to do, right? What you want to do is get all your indicators and line them up. And when more indicators on every time frame line up more bullish, then it's more likely that the price is going to go up. If all the indicators line up, your patterns, your drawings, your oscillators, the candlesticks, all that lines up to be more bearish on all time frames, then it's more bearish, right? And I think candlesticks are more important, and I would consider candlestick patterns and candlesticks themselves. And then I look at the moving averages, and then I look at oscillators, and then I start looking at my other indicators in that row of importance, so you guys know. All right, so probably sideways action for the rest of today, and then possibly a breakout tomorrow in gold. And then I will look to take profits on my ETF position. Although, if the price starts falling below 1546 or 1545, then I'm out. So I'm going to place a stop and I'll get stopped out, right? or I will place, or I'm actually going to buy the inverse ETF of my other bullish ETF for gold mining stocks, right? Because you could play the inverse ETFs, which is the opposite. Instead of shorting, you buy an inverse ETF. And the upside on that is it could pop like a couple 100% real quick. So I'm actually, before I even take profits, I'm going to start accumulating a position on that. And that's how I play this. Because that's what hedging is. That's how professional traders do that with trading ETFs. All right, so let's take a look at the stock market. Let's take a look at the S&P 500 real quick. Let me get a drink here. All right, so here's the daily on the S&P 500. Look how choppy this is. Look at this chop. A lot of people got wrecked in here. A lot of traders did, at least. This is interesting. Just the gapping. Gaps up, gaps down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Let's take it to a weekly. Now, let's state the obvious here. Trump needs the stock market to stay up. He doesn't need it rallying. He just needs it to stay up, trade sideways, but not, fall down, right? Not crash. This Ishimoku cloud on the weekly looks very bullish. So, I've talked about this. We might get a stock market melt up. And that's still in play. It really is. Because if the Fed cuts 50 basis points and then cuts some more by the end of this year, like maybe a full percentage, the market's probably going to go up and make new all-time highs. And I don't think the plunge protection team's going to let it fall. Yes, there is a tipping point where nothing could stop it from correcting. Because let's face it, I mean, this is the longest bull market running in history. PE ratios through the roof. Corporate buybacks have been insane. The corporate debt is just out of this world. All the debt is. Home prices, I think, are rolling over. Like, they're starting to fall. People are just not buying homes. I mean, they're so expensive. So, the retail investor, record debt. Credit cards maxed out. Everyone's got a new car. 7-year car loans, right? It definitely feels like it's time. How long can this party? How much more upside can there really be? Now, I'm thinking if we get a melt up, it's for a couple reasons, right? It's because the Fed's lowering interest rates and they're going to zero. And Europe and Asia's in trouble. And a lot of capital flight out of China and Europe can actually go into the U.S. stock market. Are they jumping out of, a frying pan into the fire? Yeah, they are. But, for the short term, meaning the next 6 months or until closer till 2020 elections or 2021, right? The market might actually go up. As of right now, I just see it in a range between 2930 and 2800 for the S&P 500. And I think it might just trade sideways. I don't see any crazy upside in the next few weeks, mainly because I feel like the market's really going to wait till the next FOMC meeting. All right, and the trade war... honestly, there's no end in sight. I don't think it's going to get better. And I'm going to talk about that more in depth in my next video. So let's go back to the daily. So besides the plunge protection team, there's also Trump tweets like the last one where he's like, "Oh, I just got off the phone with China," which was probably a lie. And it's just to keep the markets up, and I can't believe the markets keep falling for it. Now, a lot of people on Wall Street are coming back from vacation. They honestly take the summer off, the big whales, and volatility might actually increase. We'll see. But the daily, sort of just it's in nowhere land to me. Is this going to turn into a bearish pennant? You know, we'll see. Right now, it's in a range, a huge range. I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't even. I think we're going to find out by the end of this year if we're going to get a melt up or this was the top. So it's too early to tell, in my opinion. The 4-hourly here. There's just, yeah, it's just trading in a range, and it's probably going to consolidate for the next few days and weeks. So I'm thinking now's the time to not trade stocks. Take a break. I haven't been trading stocks for a little bit now. Honestly, all I'm doing is buying mining stocks and doing research. That's all I'm doing right now. So we'll see if it trades in a triangle in a range here. And then also there's this entire range right here, right? Between here and here. 2,800 on the S&P. What's really interesting is bonds right now and the dollar. The dollar is actually strengthening right now. And that's just another warning signal that the rest of the world's in worse shape than the U.S. temporarily, right, for the short term. And what I mean by short term is like months and maybe a year or something like that. And maybe that milkshake theory is actually somewhat playing out. It's really hard right now. Here's the Dow Jones. Now this is interesting. If the Dow Jones breaks down here, these moving averages are going to cross on the 4-hourly, which will give us more downside pressure. Let's go to the daily. See how the Dow's doing on the Dow looks like the S&P 500, but I would say it's a little bit weaker. But it's very similar. Where's the NASDAQ? You know what? Let's just look at the FANGs real quick. The FANG index. Because the FANGs are going to take down the market. If anything. Because they're heavily weighted, right? Huh. You know, a retest of 2,340 here on the FANG index. I wouldn't be surprised if it did that, but it honestly that would still make a higher low. If you drew a trend line. So if you drew it from here until right there, right? But if it actually dropped a little bit lower, 2,400. If it tested 2,400, it's probably gonna do that. So a little more. And that could happen while the S&P and the Dow Jones trades in that range. So let's take a look at the Russell and then the transports, and then we'll look at other markets. Russell 2000 It's much weaker than the S&P and the Dow Jones. Now, the S&P and the Nasdaq, those tech companies and the FANGs, those are more of international stocks as well. The Russell is domestic, right? Right now, it's on major support. So you could draw a support line. You see a lot of touches from the top and the bottom around around 1450. So see, this makes TA very difficult. When the market actually listens to the news and rallies on it and tweets, and it's been very volatile and hectic all summer. Usually the summer is not this volatile. It all comes down to the Fed, guys. That's what it's really going to come down to. You almost don't even have to do TA on the stock market. It's just going to come down to human psychology and the Fed. Here's the European financials just destroyed. Those banks, I wouldn't be surprised if they start going under next year. But they'll keep bailing them out. The new IMF chief, or no, the former IMF, Christine Lagarde, is now the new ECB money printer. They're probably just going to bail out the banks, or if they do a bail-in, you're going to have like yellow vest movements across Europe, which is probably going to happen anyways. But they have negative yielding rates there, so... But look at this. This is horrible. I mean, it has to bounce here, right? If it doesn't, I guess the banks are going to start going under soon. I don't know how they haven't. They're zombie banks. They're just, the government and the central banks in Europe just print money and then keep the banks somehow running with all that. The thing is, they can't do it forever unless they just... Because there's interest on all that debt. You either have like a debt jubilee, right? You forgive all the debt, but so the debt is someone else's wealth. I don't know. This is the world we live in. Here's all the European indexes. They look very similar to the US S&P. Somewhat similar. Everything's just globalized at this point when you look at these charts on a macro view. Here's China. Look at this chart. So back in 2016 and 15, their economy actually started falling back then. Had a nice rebound, and yeah, I mean, it started in 2017. That's why Bitcoin went up, because of capital flight out of China. And then the trade war started, I would say, the beginning of... trade war started halfway through 2018, right? Somewhere around then. Then their market started falling again. And I don't know. This looks like a bull flag on the Chinese index here. This could be a bull flag. But I don't know. China, they heavily manipulate their entire currency and market as well. Today's green across the board. Alright, let's see if you guys have any good questions. Let me do Bitcoin real quick. By the way, go to my website, MMGinvest. While this loads, I could, shill myself. Go to my website, research and data, to help you with your own research on mining stocks. And, I thought I started doing all this because I thought I could, thousands of people would buy my report. Apparently that is not so. That's why I don't make that many videos, because it's not worth my time. Like, I make $100 a month making YouTube videos. Like, I really don't give a shit. So, yeah, you can still get 10% off. Go to my website, and the product pays for itself. You know what that means? It pays for itself with time. I believe these gold, silver mining stocks. By the way, silver is up. What? It's at 1850 or something. It's insane. I said once it gets above $17, they can't stop it. And what I mean by they is the banks. They can't smash gold and silver anymore like they used to. And, anyone who says that's not true, I mean, another JP Morgan guy just got caught doing it, right? Yeah, silver right now is at 1850. In the end, I wouldn't be surprised if you see silver at $300 or who knows, even higher. I wouldn't be surprised if gold goes to 8,000. And if that happens, your mining stocks, it's like life-changing money. It doesn't even take that much money to invest in mining stocks, and if they go up, with a raging bull market in silver and gold, then you'll be retired. Oh yeah, someone commented, shouldn't you only buy physical because all the banks and the brokerages and everything could just go under? Yeah, I mean, true, but if that happens, it's Mad Max. Like, you're probably not going to survive. I'm telling you. You're really not. And also, as the stocks go up, you take profits and you could afford to buy more physical, right? And there's also the risk of, if you hold physical and they come out with draconian laws and they make it like illegal, or they fix prices of metals, then you can't go and sell it. It's going to be extremely hard to sell it to anyone. And there's not a lot of people, but there's a decent amount of people who like sit on hordes of physical gold and silver, like dragons. And these people are all going to sell at once. And who's going to buy physical? It's not going to be that easy. It's not going to be as easy as you think. And for a lot of you people think it's going to be like some sort of like Mad Max world where people are bartering with like physical. It's not going to come down to that, guys. It's just going to be the U.S. It's going to be like a huge financial reset. But people aren't going to be like eating each other to stay alive or anything. I really don't think it's going to be like that. Things will get hard. There will be times where the ATMs don't spit out cash. There will be lines and, there'll be shortages of this and that, but it's not going to be like, they're not going to let the brokerage houses go under. They're not going to let the banks go under. If they do that, so the supply chain breaks down. Semis don't deliver food. I'm not saying it can happen, but, that's why you do both. You could do both. You don't have to do just one or the other, Alright, so what was I going to do? Oh, yeah, let's do Bitcoin. Man, there's a lot of questions. Oh, someone gave me $20. You didn't have to do that. Question about rising mining stocks. Can physical precious metals evaporate from the COMEX before mining stocks reach their peak? Do you think this is possible, and would mining stocks be any good at this point? So the COMEX, right, is a futures market of the underlying physical metals. It doesn't have anything to do with the mining stocks. So what you're saying is, if there's so much futures, paper money, trading as a derivative of the spot price of the actual physical metals, right? So when that market blows up, and it's going to, so let's say a whale wants delivery, actual delivery of the gold or silver, and they're not going to be able to deliver on it because it's a derivatives, right? Like, they don't actually have all the metals, because there's like $1 trillion trading of metals every day of volume. It's fact that they don't have $1 trillion worth of metals, right? So what happens is one day there'll be a run on the COMEX, right? And they'll only pay out in fiat one day, or they'll just admit it that they don't have the physical. And what'll happen is that'll just shoot the price of metals, the spot price of gold and silver, to the moon. And then what's going to happen is the mining stocks are going to do the same. It's just going to go up. Like, the COMEX is just a derivative futures market of the price of gold and silver. It's actually how they rig the price, and they manipulate it. They've been manipulating it down for like a decade now, right? For like 7 years, since 2012. I mean, they have been doing that, all right? So, not constantly, but they do it here and there at major support and resistance levels. And all that manipulation, what it did was, all of the cheap and easy silver and gold has been mined now for all of your tech companies, like for your cell phones, for all these laptops and everything, all the batteries in your Teslas, all the solar panels. A 4x4 solar panel needs like an ounce of silver. So, people think gold, precious metals and mining stocks are boring. Yeah, well, those tech companies, those servers, all this technology, it all uses gold and silver. So if that's exciting, if you think the world's going to be really tech, heavy on tech, all technologically advanced, and you're going to have crazy flying cars and, all this, cyborgs and robots and AI and all that crap. And you're going to have endless mining farms of cryptocurrencies. All that shit uses gold and silver. So even if we didn't have a giant bubble, globally, the stocks are going to go up anyways. The only reason they've been going down for like 6-7 years because they've been manipulating the prices down, the banks and the governments. Because when the metals go up, it signals to the markets that something's wrong. And they've been accumulating, the central banks themselves, secretly, especially China. Alright, any more super chats? Nice, you got 100% on Nugget? Sweet. Well, I'm above 100% on it. I made a lot. And I actually invested way more than I should have. But it's fine because I'm still up. That's why I'm kind of worried about a pullback now. So I'm going to get out. Or I'm going to hedge with dust and then, I'll take profits. And then dust, it'll pop. Then when I go into dust to hedge against a pullback in gold, I don't hold that for long. It's a couple day trade usually, or maybe a week at the most, something like that. Today's Thursday. It's not Wednesday. No shit, guys. I don't have a job. I get a little sometimes I have no idea what day it is. It's already Thursday. Huh. Alright, so Well, for the private members, I'll keep an eye on everything, and then we'll see. It's time to take profits. Thanks for the yen, Ryan. Okay, Laszlo, what do you think of the dollar vigilante? How you looked into his silver that introduced me to his channel? I mean, I don't look at other people's stuff. But I have looked at other people's stuff like 5 years ago. What I do, listen, this is how I do my research. I look at the indexes, right, and the ETFs. Not the indexes. I look at the ETFs, like the Sprott ETF, right? And then I look at other people's ETFs. And then I research all the stocks individually. And then I look at the balance sheets. I look at this. I look at that. I look at news. There's a bunch of articles written by a bunch of people for free. They do that on mining stocks. I don't really get too much into the ore and the grade of the metals. I look to see what other people talk about. There's only a few people that really know how to do that and research that. And not just that. Like, you go to their website, they'll tell you what the grade of the metals that they're mining out of the ground is and what they expect. But at the end of the day, you could almost throw a dart at any junior gold and silver mining company, and if they don't have a lot of debt and they survive till now, they're going to go up. If gold goes to 3,000 and silver goes to, let's say, $100, worst case scenario, these mining stocks are still all going to go up by a lot. So, and by the way, don't talk about other people in here. My theory, mainstream media trying to start recession now to hurt the president, causing premature run on metals. Yeah, I mean, the left, they would... You see, this is how stupid the left is. They want a recession for 2020 just so they could get back into the White House. They just don't understand the next recession won't be a recession. It'll be the largest... It'll be the beginning of the largest financial and economic calamity in probably human history. Because not only is it the most debt that the world has ever seen, with the largest global population, and it's global, right? The world's never seen a Ponzi scheme this big, essentially. Like a bubble this big with this many people. And why would you... They don't understand how bad things could get. I mean, proof of that is they actually believe they could cut everyone a check $1,000 a month. If you did that, you would instantly just get inflation. And that $1,000 a month that everyone gets would be worth nothing. It just makes the prices of everything go up. It just distorts prices. And then, if anything, it hurts the economy. Because then, businesses have to reprice everything. And listen, I don't know if Trump's going to get reelected. I have no idea. Because I don't know if the market could last that long. I don't think he knows. I don't think anyone knows. I know China wants Trump not to get reelected as well. Because a lefty is more likely to not fight China. And then the U.S. will... The manufacturing base will keep getting gutted and hollowed out. And he can't... That's why I believe he cares about the country because there's no other reason why he would go against China. I'll talk more in depth about this later. There was some real good videos that I watched recently about this, about the trade war, and I could go way more in depth about that. Gold ETFs will stop people buying mining stocks? What are you talking about? You realize gold ETFs are a basket of mining stocks. So if more people buy, if institutional money, right, and these index funds and retirements and pensions, if they buy gold and silver ETFs, that means all the gold and silver mining stocks that are in those ETFs, they go up in value. Can you get a picture of me and Schiff together? I mean, someday. I don't have a picture of me and him, though. I've never, like, actually met him in person. Thoughts on ETH? I don't know. I don't know about ETH. Like, they haven't scaled. Can they even scale? I just don't care. Can you look at the platinum or whether there is any best low entry? Yeah, sure. Platinum. I remember I called the top in platinum a few months back. Where's my platinum? Hold on 1 second. I have to find it. Wait, are you talking about palladium or platinum? Honestly, I think platinum might be a good buy. I know palladium went into a huge bull market. And then I called a top on that because someone else was actually trading that. And I forgot to buy it. I heard it was going to go up, and then I just, Here's a palladium ETF, though. And this is a weekly chart, right? Oh, man, it never revisited 107. Huh. Well, you said platinum, so let's take a look at platinum. I haven't even looked at platinum. Give me a second here. Here's platinum futures. Whoa. This is just an hourly chart, though. Damn, platinum just broke out. Here's a 4-hour chart. It literally just broke out. When did it break out? About a week ago. Just a few days ago. Here, let's go to a weekly chart, see where this is, how this looks on a weekly. Yeah, honestly, I'm going to look at a few platinum mining stocks. Because the platinum ratio to gold and silver is like ridiculously high or low. What I'm trying to say is platinum is like at its all-time low while gold and silver is breaking out. So naturally, just as a speculative trade and investment, I view platinum as more speculative than gold and silver. But you might want some exposure to this because the upside to platinum is pretty big. Because look, in 2011, because it also went into a bull market with gold. So platinum went to 1,800, pretty much $1,900, just like gold, right? Well, right now it's at 934. So that means the platinum mining companies or let's say they probably mine a lot of things, a lot of minerals, but the ones that are heavily mainly mining platinum, there probably aren't too many platinum stocks out there to buy, but the ones that you can buy, there's probably a lot of upside on it for just a speculative. Like I wouldn't put much into it. I mainly buy silver and gold mining stocks, right? But I could put 5% or less, really less, 3% into a platinum or a couple of platinum mining stocks, because this thing looks like it's ready to explode. It's definitely bottomed out, and it's breaking out right now. It just broke above the 200-week moving average, platinum. So platinum, yeah. I forget these things because I'm so busy, right? Researching gold and silver mining companies. I have all these post-it notes, but I have so many now across my office, I forget to do things. So I need to start looking at some platinum mining stocks before we miss out on that, right? It's a good call on that one. The low entry is now. It's breaking out, basically. Left and right parties works together. So this is what I think of the left and the right. It's really two wings of the same bird, okay? They're both controlled. I mean, every president's a puppet, guys. I mean, even Trump, right? Although I think he's more pro the U.S. than anything else. And if he doesn't get reelected, the market's going to tank. And so is the economy. And you're going to, like, the U.S. will go full blow, like, to the left. And you don't want to live in that world. I mean, my parents and family escaped the communists, right? And you're going to see food lines. You're going to be miserable. You're going to get robbed by your neighbor. It's just a hellhole. You'll lose every freedom and right. And with technology these days, if you lose it this time, you may never get it back in your lifetime. So there's no such thing as free shit, guys. They give you free shit in the beginning, and then in the end, they take everything from you. All right. Guys, the left and the right, they're both socialists. They really are. I really hope he's just he's not just the fall guy, right? So they could blame the free markets and freedom. If that here's the problem with the U.S. falling. Once the U.S. falls, right? There's really nowhere else to run in the world that's free. And you guys have to understand that this world is ran by globalists. These people, they don't believe in anything like you and I, right? They don't believe in human rights or liberties. They don't believe in free markets. They don't even believe in communism. It's all about control. They have all the money already. And they have a lot of power, but they want absolute power. I'm talking like you're just an animal on a farm to them. Where is the low entry for platinum? Alright, let's go to a daily, then I'll go to the 4-hour. I mean, it's breaking higher. It's breaking out. So I would look to buy now. It might retest 900, but if it goes back to 900, buy. If it doesn't, buy now. Because it's breaking out past this major support around, or resistance around 900. I mean, as soon as it went above 900, and now it's just running, it's probably going to just keep running. Or are you trying to day trade this? Well, if you're trying to day trade it, like, I don't know. I'm a swing trader. And it's on a 6 count right now for the 4-hour time frame. So probably a pullback by the end of today. Maybe a pullback tomorrow and Monday and Tuesday. And then if it retests like 910 or falls back down to... I say buy the dip on it. Not financial advice, but that's what I see. That's what I would do if there's any dip. Which it looks like there will be maybe tomorrow, today, by the end of today. No, not the end of today. Friday, right before the closing bell, or Monday. But I don't know. This could just keep running. Because it's so undervalued compared to the other metals. That's the thing. It's on a 4 count on the daily, so if it goes to a 9 count on the daily, this is just heating up. So on the 5 count you might get a pullback, but I'm telling you, if it falls back down to like 920 or 910, I would buy that dip. Alright, I don't see any more questions. Be careful what you say in the chat so they don't come after me, you know what I mean? In the Telegram groups, we could talk about anything, you know? There's no... But I get it. I know what's going on. You guys know what's going on. They're all Satanists. I'm dead serious. If you don't believe in God... They believe in Satan. That's all I gotta say. That's really all I gotta say, guys. Alright, so I didn't talk about Bitcoin. Let's talk about Bitcoin. Looks like there's a pump happening right now. It just pumped. From like... This is why I can't trade Bitcoin anymore. I still trade it. I just can't give you guys... Like, I can't give you guys charts. Because it's so volatile. I don't know. I think Tether is going to get it. They're going to try to get it back above 10,000. Here, if you go to a 3-minute chart, it just literally spiked up from... this is 3 minutes, right? So it went from 9,380 to 9,585. Look at that spike. That's why it's really hard to do TA on Bitcoin. It used to be easy, but now it's just... Listen, they can manipulate it, but they can't manipulate it that much. I mean... Maybe they could run it back up above 10,000, maybe even to 12,000. I don't know. But eventually, whenever they go after Tether, that's the big short. Like the movie Big Short, that's the big short for crypto. when they take that house of cards down. I mean, it's almost pointless doing TA on Bitcoin. The other TA guys, like, I need to go listen to a few of them because they're probably like frustrated. Or in the comment section, people are like, what are you talking about? I mean, this looks somewhat classic textbook, but not really. Because you're getting lower lows. I mean, it's sort of a descending triangle, right? But it looks like it's going to bounce off of, on the daily here, it looks like it's going to bounce off of the 52-day moving average or the 54-day moving average. So it does make sense that we will get a nice bounce or rebound based on looking at the daily. So it's not going down just yet, all right? At least I don't think. Until you see the FUD, the news, right? That Interpol just kicked down the front door and... Listen, Bitcoin's not going to die. I don't really know how low it's going to fall. I just look at the Google trends and I know Tether needs to, like, it's becoming a systemic risk. Like, it needs to stop. It's actually doing more harm than good. Because the traders have gotten wrecked. The speculators are just... They're getting destroyed from all the pumps and the dumps, the wicking up and down. So, and you know, if the exchanges don't have the fiat to pay everyone out, if they start exiting, then you're going to see some serious problems. But I could be wrong. I mean, maybe, you know, maybe Tether will stop and maybe there'll be capital flight because of, you know, financial markets just going belly up all around the world, especially with the trade wars. China is in trouble, guys. And the U.S. will be in trouble as well. And so Europe is in trouble as well. And you're going to see capital flight, especially out of China, because they're very tyrannical. So they might go back China capital flight, they might just start breaking the laws and buying Bitcoin, and it'll go back into a bull market. Now, the altcoins, I don't know. Those things just... Oh yeah, Backed. I feel like Backed was already priced in. And the price has already risen because of the anticipation of Backed. The news that Backed was going to come online came out like 3 months ago. That was back around this time, right? Around May and June. So it's sort of already priced in. And now it was buy the rumor and then sort of sell prior to the fact, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. Here's the thing, guys. I trade Bitcoin, right? But I don't feel comfortable posting charts about it because of the volatility from Tether pumps. I'm just being honest. I'll still do videos here and there. I just trade the ETFs for gold and silver. I don't trade futures. I like the exposure of leverage ETFs, even though they're extremely dangerous. It's just I've done it for a while. Some experience. Don't do it if you're not highly experienced, like 10 years experience or something. Right. I mean, you could trade a non-leveraged ETF. You'll do alright, I guess. I don't know. You guys need experience to trade. But here's the thing with metals. By the way, when you swing trade, a swing trade could be 3 days or 3 months. As long as the price goes in your favor, you just hold on to that trade. Those are the best trades when I don't have to do anything, right? Just sit on my ass for like a month or two and just watch it go up. And with precious metals, because the market's so small compared to the rest of the financial markets, right? You could just see a rally in metals in these ETFs weeks on weeks on weeks for like months. So, and I just experienced that, right? For the past like month or so, 2 months, it's just been rising and rising. And I've just held that one trade, and I'm looking to take profits now. And that's honestly the best for a lot of you because most of you have jobs, right? Apparently, the 62 watching right now don't, but I don't know. Some of you do. Most of you do. Alright, I don't see any more questions. I'm going to get out of here. So, Bitcoin, it is coming up on a 52-day moving average here. I think it'll bounce and have some sort of rebound here. How high? I don't know. I'll make another video in probably this weekend. Alright guys, until next time.